As we begin our exploration of shell shock during World War I, it is essential to grasp what this term entailed. Initially perceived as a physical injury linked to the violent explosions of warfare, shell shock manifested in soldiers through a complex range of psychological symptoms. From tremors and disorientation to severe emotional disturbances, many men who had survived some of the war's fiercest battles found themselves grappling with feelings that they could not comprehend or explain. The term began to gain traction in the medical community, leading to growing awareness that these symptoms were serious psychological scars rather than mere displays of cowardice or weakness in the face of battle. The symptoms of shell shock varied widely among affected soldiers, revealing a stunning tapestry of psychological trauma. Beyond physical symptoms like uncontrollable shaking, many veterans suffered from anxiety, deep depression, and intrusive flashbacks to the horrors they experienced on the front lines. These psychological burdens often manifested in behavioral shifts, with some veterans appearing detached and emotionally numb, while others were abnormally alert and hypervigilant in their environments. The psychological toll was immense, with countless individuals struggling to adapt back into civilian life, haunted by memories that they couldn't escape or articulate. This profound psychological impact hinted at a need for systematic awareness and intervention. Societal perceptions of shell shock initially hindered the acknowledgement and treatment of affected soldiers. Many people viewed the symptoms as a weakness, believing that those suffering from shell shock were simply unable to cope with the rigors of war. This misunderstanding resulted in stigmatization and neglect, leaving many veterans feeling isolated and unsupported. The cultural narrative often equated bravery on the battlefield with emotional resilience off it, which put tremendous pressure on returning soldiers. Over time, however, as the military and medical communities began to recognize the legitimacy of these psychological injuries, public perception slowly began to shift, paving the way for greater compassion and understanding. In response to the growing crisis of shell shock, medical professionals developed a range of treatments that reflected the ambiguity surrounding the condition. Approaches varied greatly, from rest to more extreme methods such as electroshock therapy, which at times proved harmful rather than healing. A critical turning point occurred as innovative psychiatrists began advocating for more compassionate methodologies that recognized the psychological roots of shell shock symptoms. This era initiated the establishment of specialized hospitals dedicated solely to mental health, marking a significant shift in the treatment focus for veterans, moving away from mere physical responses to truly understanding their psychological distress. The legacy of shell shock has had a lasting impact on mental health awareness, particularly in military contexts. The experiences of World War I veterans paved the way for a more profound recognition of conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, which is now understood as a significant psychological reaction to traumatic events. The recognition of shell shock illuminated the intricate relationship between war and mental health, advocating for comprehensive care for veterans. As we navigate contemporary understandings of mental health, the lessons learned from the shell shock phenomenon continue to shape our approach, underscoring the critical importance of addressing and caring for the psychological well-being of those who serve.